Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And top of the morning to you. This is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And it's a great morning. It wasn't wet, and it seems to be a perfect setting for a splendid week ahead. Now then, I just want to bring it up to your attention. If we play a clip this morning, and it's all to do with about the roads, actually, not the whole program, but this little segment. It's about the roads and how it is that Minister Lakshman Kiriella is apparently clutching at straws whilst he is fishing around in very stormy and fishy waters. So here we go, producer.
මොකද අමුතුවෙන් ගැටලු දැනට තියෙන්නේ දැන් මේ කඩා කපල් කරන්න හදන කට්ටිය ඔව් ඒකදී මේ සාමාන්‍ය සම්මතයක් ආව නේද ආව නමුත් මේ මාධ්‍ය ආයතන දෙක තුනක්
We did, but there is a group that has gotten the support of 2 or 3 media networks to sabotage this. Is it?
අනිත් එක අපි අමුතුවෙන් මේ ඔව් ඒක දැන් මේ මොකද අමුතුවෙන් ගැටලු දැනට තියෙන්නේ දැන් මේ කඩා කපල් කරන්න හදන කට්ටිය ඔව් ඒකදී මේ සාමාන්‍ය සම්මතයක් ආව නේද ආව නමුත් මේ මාධ්‍ය ආයතන දෙක තුනක්
We did, but there is a group that has got.
Now the reason we played that clip for you again twice is because Minister Lakshman Kiriella were at a press conference and were attended by the President. He said that whenever he sees the Mahanayakas, they always ask him about the roads. Well, isn't it astonishing that if that is so, why is it that he has to ask the Mahanayakas to comment about the expressways? And why is it that Mr. Kiriella doesn't appraise the Mahanayakas of what the real complaint and concern of the people of this country was and is? And that is that it is not about the roads. Nobody said anything about having the roads or not. What we are saying is that there has been a complete abuse of the national procurement guidelines. Why doesn't the minister tell the Mahanayakas that he has single-handedly abused that national procurement process? That was the message why that clip was played. And on that note, this morning we have a wonderful guest here, coming back to our set after an absence of several weeks. No doubt because he's been a very busy man, or that our diary people haven't called him. Nevertheless, always a pleasure to have him. It's the one and the only legal advisor, now Cabinet Minister, Mr. Faisal Mustafa. Very good morning to you, Mr. Mustafa.
Good morning, Faraz. It's always a pleasure to be on your program.
It's lovely to have you here. Honestly, it really is. You bring with you a certain different sort of ambience, and we're very happy. But now this ambience here, now that you're here, what are you doing? I'll get back to the other point, but you know, Minister, collective responsibility, right?
That's right.
And on top of that, you're a legal man.
Supposed to be.
Yes, supposed to be. You know, you command high fees and so on.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. You can't now. That's all right. Tell me, how can you be sitting in a room with all these ministers and so on, cabinet, and you have one man who is going out of his way to deny anything is wrong in this national procurement guidelines? You know, as a minister, you should know this. You're a cabinet minister. I think over 1 million rupees. On which circumstances can you, as a minister, summon, let's say a bidding process is going on in your ministry. Are you allowed to summon all those people and have a meeting with them, just with only your private secretary, private consultant?
Faraz, I wouldn't like to speak about a specific
No, I'm asking
issue.
about you.
No, about me, I wouldn't. If there is a tender procedure going on,
Yeah.
I would not call the bidders for any discussion.
Full stop.
Full stop.
No period, actually, just full stop.
No period, full stop.
Right. Well, you know, you may have missed the news because you're quite busy. And we'll come to this. I'll keep going on about you being busy, but I'll come to that in a minute. Here's Lakshman Kirialla. It's $1 billion, 154 billion rupee project. And he's cancelling. I mean, it's astonishing. First of all, there's one bidder. It's all fixed because he comes in there, two people. One's a marine construction company, the other fellow builds bridges. And then they obviously don't participate in this bid to build the road to Kandy, which you're familiar with, right? And then they don't have a bid bond, a bid security. So it's a major deviation. Should have been just cancelled and recalled. They don't recall it. They invite the same 3 people and they bring in another company. And then that's, oh, okay, so that's going on. Then they evaluate one company and they say, oh yeah, he's all right. And then this other company is brought in through the back door. And the minister is having meetings in his office to discuss the project. You must make a consortium. The Japanese government, your government wants this consortium. It's all completely wrong. It's completely wrong. It is as wrong as the conflict of interest that permeated the central bank over the bond issue. When we spoke about that, nobody wanted to know about it. Today we know where we are with the bond issue. And is that what's going to happen with the highways?
For us, your media station has been quite good at picking up issues in the interest of the public.
Yeah.
So, like you mentioned earlier, issues which was brought to the public domain long after, you all were the first to pick it up.
Yeah.
So, like you said, for us, if there are issues with regard to tenders, including the road project as you mentioned, things have to be put right for us.
Well, they have to be put right. Can't you sit the president down?
For us, I beg to say that during the last 2 weeks, I have been quite busy with the provincial council election.
I will come to that in a minute.
And listen to me, Faraz. So as a result, I wouldn't like to comment on something which I have very little knowledge about, Faraz. So other than what you are telling me, so even though it is a matter within the cabinet, I have.
But you must read the Sunday Times.
No, I do, but I have very little knowledge on the subject. But on a general principle for us, irrespective of who the person is, irrespective who the cabinet minister is, if there is a deviation, if there is corruption, it has to be dealt with.
But it's disgraceful that he goes and meets the leading member of the clergy in this country and only is very partial with the information that he is disclosing.
That's why
he's misleading. Not only is he misleading the people, but he's also, in this instance, misleading the most reverend monks. It's awful. And you are part of that cabinet.
Yeah, I'm part of the cabinet. I'm a part of the cabinet. You're right, for us.
So
and like you highlighted certain issues to me, and if that is the position, I'm sure.
But believe me, nothing
issue.
comes through this newsroom unless we've got evidence that will stand up in a proper court of law, not some kangaroo court.
I totally agree, for us. You all have always highlighted matters in the interest of the public, and you all have given matters in the correct perspective.
Yes, well, I didn't just want you to agree with that, but I really wanted you to comment on what you're going to do.
I'm not trying to get away.
I don't want you to get away.
I'm not trying to get away with something. You brought certain matters.
It was like Harsha De Silva, that young fellow. Well, he looks young. But, on Face the Nation, in the height of the bond matter, he came on there and lo and behold, he said, yes, there must have been something wrong.
No, Faraz, I have never, you know me better, Faraz. I stand for what is right and what is just, whilst being a member of the cabinet. Like the issues which you brought and which you articulated now, I mean, they're serious issues for us.
Of course they are.
Yeah, and I'm sure if those matters, the president and the cabinet should take decisions
But you know, in both matters, it was clearly of either be too much of a thorn or it was of national importance.
No,
that,
I don't think
that the Prime Minister decided that it was appropriate to make a statement in Parliament. And again, he misled us as well on the bond issue. And in the terms of the road one, he's just going on about a 25 billion saving. But this is the same Prime Minister, I must remind our viewers, who told us that on the outer circular highway that he saved 30 billion. But what he didn't tell you is that he saved 30 billion, or supposedly, by reducing the scope of the work. So, you know, you order a 6-story house and that your contractor delivers 2 stories because your wife said, oh, we'll just do 2 stories. Pfizer's mad, he doesn't want 4 others. And then, of course, you, being the money man, you'll say, honey, what happened to the money? You know, I allocated you for 6 stories. Where's the money? Same thing. Same thing. We're not saying that we needed 6 highways, 6 lanes, and PM was right in making it 4. But what we're saying is, why doesn't he say it openly? Why the need to dress it all up in language that is all flowery? Why is that? Do you think it's because there's the flowery club? What is it? Why can't they say it straight up? Say, listen, we didn't want 6 highways, we want to save some money, so we've cut down 2 lanes, the size of the viaducts, the lot. Say it, don't come there and tell us that, oh, through stiffer negotiation. What stiffer negotiation?
Faraz, you'll make a very good politician, Faraz.
No, don't just brush it aside, Faiz. These matters...
No, Faraz, I'm not trying to brush it aside.
Right.
You have always brought matters to the public perspective, right?
Yeah.
And I think that you have been continuously championing certain causes for transparency and for greater accountability.
Yes.
And I think that's a good way to move forward. I mean, as a cabinet minister, and certain issues which you have brought to my notice, that's why I continuously state the government has to take greater effort in accountability and transparency. Is there anything, anything more I should say about it?
Well, I think you should sit the President down and explain to him.
And also, Faraz, I believe that the President will always do what's best in the interest of the country, and if there is
any, sometimes
if there are any issues to deal with, he would deal with it.
Right. Well,
the country has given him a mandate to do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to send your questions in straight here, it's 0772 300 305, and our producer this morning, Charlotte, will put it on the screen now. 0772 300 305. We've already had a few questions come in. One such thing is, can Minister Pfizer help to persuade his colleague Kirialla and consultant to come to this show and give us the true picture? Or his colleague and friend? Oh, I see. Kirialla is your colleague and your friend.
Colleague obviously is a cabinet colleague and is also a lawyer.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
Gee, what is the
Faraz,
meaning of
I'm sure.
ultra-vires?
Have you all invited him for the program, Faraz?
Yes, I did it on Friday as well.
And what did he say?
I don't know. I gave him an invitation on air.
Okay, so
on Thursday.
Has he declined the invitation?
I don't know if he's accepted or declined.
So I don't think there is persuasion needed.
Well, he's got an open invitation.
So then
he
I'm
can come
sure,
here and talk only about that.
Sure,
no politics.
I'm sure he might accept
no religion, no nothing.
I'm sure
just this matter.
I'm sure he might accept it.
Well, when you see him,
yeah, I'll tell you. I'll come next Tuesday. Tomorrow I should meet him. I'll express your sentiments that you're awaiting a reply for his open invitation.
Yes,
I'll do that.
Tell him to come.
I'll do that for us.
Tell him to come.
I'll do
over.
that.
And the questions coming, just going on. Wow. Now then, this one is wonderful. The same way you buckle the election, you do something to save this country by buckling this project, as we can't afford it. We can't afford 154 billion when you're trying to smuggle in some failed company and some other company. Do you know, at this meeting, this is like a comic, because he's at this illegal meeting. He's had 2 other guys, one from a company from India that is posting a huge loss, 1,940 billion rupee loss, right? And then they say, but we've got a big order book, right? What are they doing? This is not their private property.
But Faraz, firstly, whoever raised that question about me buckling elections,
yes,
I would ask that person to take that question back. For the reason, Faraz,
yeah,
I have never buckled elections.
Right.
I had to deal with a delimitation which was not proper, and I had to go through an appellate process. And with regard to the provincial council election, President Maitripala Sirisena got a mandate that it change the electoral system, and I succeeded in doing so by bringing a mixed system.
Mr. Mustafa, this question is going on and on and on, right? And it's because it's 17 minutes after, I'm going to have to talk about what you did, what one viewer calls the buckling of the election.
It's not fair for us.
Why is it not fair?
For us, because
why is it not
I
fair?
have not buckled the elections for us. All what I did was bringing legislator to change the electoral system with regard to local government elections and to provincial councils. But I have no reason to buckle elections for us.
Right. Now then, Mr. Mustafa, let's start at the beginning. What is your job? What's your minister of what?
My job is
what
to
is your minister?
improve infrastructure.
You're the minister of provincial councils.
Greater accountability, transparency for local bodies, to work with the
so you're the minister
provincial councils and local government.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now then, you've been in business about 24 months.
Yes, for us.
Right? I worked out that you've had about 96 days times 5 hours a day, even if you only work 5 hours. How long do you work?
I work.
How long are you behind your desk at the ministry?
For us, I don't do a desk job for us.
No, you don't?
I don't.
But you have an office.
I have office, but I work.
Been there.
I work 5 to 6 days a week, and I believe that I do just by the country.
Now, you had another colleague of yours, Ravi Karnanayaka. Remember him?
I do.
You do remember him, don't you? But he's on the back benches now.
That's right.
All right, but he's got an office at Temple Trees.
Does he?
Well, apparently so. Doesn't matter, because Ravi probably Ranil likes to keep him on the side there. All right, okay, we'll indulge him. Now then, guess what he said? He said he worked like a dog from 7 to 11. He told everyone who wanted to know that they can check the records at the Treasury and then they'll find out. He was working like a dog so hard that he forgot, he didn't have time to talk to madam and daughter and find out as to how he's living in this wonderful apartment. That's not the point. He's working like a dog. That's the key here. He's working hard hours, 7 to 11. Have you been working as hard?
That's for the people to judge for us.
Right. In that case, I'd like to know, what have you been doing? This business about empowering the female, increasing the female participation, was central to your, in the manifesto you all talked about redoing, changing the system.
Have you read the manifesto? Increasing women's representation was not part.
Yes,
listen for us.
Yeah.
We decided in the interest of the country. We had the first women prime minister, woman.
This is
right, but the buck stopped there, right?
Okay.
We thought that we have 52% women. We should include more women.
Yes, but you also said that you all are going to change the system of the way we vote.
Definitely.
Right. So you had. This is without the 100 days and the short period which you resigned anyway, right? That's another story, right? You've been there for 2 blessed years. What have you been doing?
For us.
The 19th Amendment, oh gosh, that was passed very quickly.
For us, can I tell you something? It is first time that electoral system was passed with consensus. Local government elections,
yeah.
I changed the electoral process. I satisfied smaller parties. I satisfied women's representation.
Now you got your...
And I didn't have any opposition. I brought in the provincial council except for certain members who had their personal interests.
Yes.
The TNA, the JVP, the Muslim parties, the UNP, the SLFP collectively voted and gave me a 2/3 mandate in bringing the provincial council elections amendment bill passed.
If you were a petrol station attendant, you'd be doing well. Do you know why? Because you will be, every time a car comes and stops there, you quickly have a look at it at the meter and you say, sir, you've got your tank's half empty. And then the guy will say, fill it up.
Okay.
Others will say, people who are not as glib with their words, will say, sir, you got half a tank left. So they'd say, all right, thank you. Then they'd
But
drop
you think
off.
I'm a good salesman, Faraz?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to
I'm
say.
not, Faraz.
Now, the thing
Faraz,
is-
I speak with my heart, Faraz.
No.
I am not.
But
listen,
you're a president's counsel, aren't you?
Unfortunately, people judge all politicians the same. But I, Faraz, believe that I have done just to the country, because the local government election system and the provincial government electoral system, there was great agitation by the masses. Dinesh Gunawardana's report very clearly stated that the electoral system has to be changed. And I'm proud to say I managed to change the electoral system with regard to local government and to provincial government within a period of 1 month, because I had
somebody says, Pfizer, open your mouth and speak out. But I don't know about what. Right? Do you have a heart?
I think so.
You don't. You do.
Everybody has a heart, but I think I have a warm heart.
I don't know. Look, Mr. Minister, this is a message from Negumbo. Mr. Minister, are you scared to face the electorate? In spite of big talk, tell me one thing your government has done for the people. Don't say you brought in the 19th Amendment. What is the point in having independent election commission if it lacks the power to prevent the government from delaying polls?
Faraz,
that poor man, Mahinda Desapre, didn't even know what was happening in Parliament. Goodness me.
The electoral system is a decision which the government has to take. And we respected the Supreme Court decision. The Supreme Court decision is where we sought to have all provincial council elections on one day to save public finance and to prevent the government from putting its entire strength into one province.
Hold on a minute.
For us, listen to me for a
But
change.
you're a president's counsel.
Yes, Faraz.
Don't you respect the order of the Supreme Court?
Sir, Faraz, I have respected the order of the Supreme Court. The government
by going through the back door?
I have not gone behind the back door. No, I haven't, Faraz. That is your perception.
And the perception of 15 million people in this country.
15 million people in this country is thankful that Faisal Mustafa got rid of this preferential vote system and brought in accountability where there is a nexus between the voter and the electorate.
Can I ask you, because I don't really want to give my producers and Stephanie's abroad and so on, but I don't want to give them extra work. But you've been on this program several times and kept telling us it'll be then, before New Year, after New Year, before Christmas, after Christmas. Do you know, it's hilarious. If Diana Holmes, our director of news, gathers those clips,
so please do,
and it will be a bestseller.
Faraz, I have said
it will be a bestseller.
No, Faraz, I have given time frames where a certain process has to be completed. I give a pledge that the local government elections will be held in January and the provincial council elections of 3 provinces will be held in March, because we have brought in the necessary legislation. We have got the support from all quarters to have it, and we have a conducive environment where the legal framework is put into place to have the election. For us, I have not given time frames where I have not kept to it. I have always acted. No, for us, the delimitation process took time. The members of the delimitation committee. No, not spelling. Ask for us. It's easy to point. You try doing my job for us. I have to satisfy the voter. I have to safeguard democracy. I have to protect women representation, and I have to create accountability with regard to the manner in which we bring the electoral system.
Mr. Mustafa, you're being recorded. You're being watched by several hundreds, thousands of people out there. I want to ask you this question.
Yes, Faraz, you keep on asking me questions.
Yes, and you keep on answering them, but you don't deliver. That's another story.
Faraz, Faraz, don't insult me, Faraz. I as a Minister of Local Government and Provincial Councils, I believe that I've worked in terms of my conscience, and I've done my utmost best to deliver whatever is possible within the present legal framework.
You've had minimum of 4 hours a day, because let's say let's say 4 hours you're on the phone, and 4 hours you're in the ministry.
I don't have to be 4 hours on the phone.
4 times 5 is 20.
Faraz.
Let's take 1 day, because
Faraz, there is a process. It has to go to Parliament. You have to deal with the delimitation committee. It's not my job alone. It's not me sitting behind a desk and calculating 4 hours a day into 5 into 300.
730.
Faraz, I assume, Faraz, you look at it from a more intellectual point of view.
I'm looking at it from an audit point of view.
No, Faraz,
because we want value for money.
This is not like going to a supermarket and going before the
look. When you get concessionary loans for to pay your car loan and so on, and you get duty-free.
Faraz, are you trying to tell me that I'm not doing my job in the best interest of the country?
I don't think that you are delivering well enough.
Faraz,
we expect more from you.
It is your perception.
No, it's
but
a perception of our viewers.
Faraz,
it's a perception of the people in this country.
Bashing me, saying that I am not doing best for the country, that's your right. But I believe that the general public believe that Faiza Mustafa has done the best for the country. Faraz, have brought in an electoral system where I give 25% women representation for local bodies and for provincial councils. I have brought in an electoral system where there is an electorate which the provincial council member or the local government member is accountable. There we had a system with the PR system where the politician was not accountable to a constituency, and we have brought in a paradigm shift by bringing this new amendment.
Do you know what you did in terms of women's participation and so on? That's excellent.
Thank you, Faraz. It's nice that you're saying something nice about me this morning.
Yes, well, no, it's wonderful news.
Thank you, Faraz.
But in between, it's like that blessed statement about 25 billion. That is, the saving is being used to mask the real problem, which is that the process has been abused.
Faraz, don't cloud that 25 billion issue with my duty and the way I function, because I have done just by the country, Faraz.
In terms of women, no wonder the women in this country think that you are the bee's knees because you've given them participation. That's very good. But Faiza Mustafa, tell me, when will we have the provincial council elections?
Provincial council elections will be held.
It down.
Faraz, right. Provincial council elections will be held in March.
March which year?
2018,
2018, right? And you're hearing this, history is being made.
And the local government elections will be held in January 2018.
All right, okay. So, producer, please put in the diary.
Please do.
Call him a month before each of these events.
Yes, please do.
And you'll be here, we'll replay this segment.
I have never refused to come on your program, for us, because I find it great pleasure.
Yes, it's always wonderful to have you here, but don't change the subject here. Now then, one other question. This is from Shamindra Ferdinando, who's the news editor of...
I know, I have a lot of respect for him.
Yes, of the island. He's got a bad throat, so he couldn't come on air. Mr. Minister, if your government is so keen to bring in changes to the Provincial Council Election Act, why didn't you initiate the process much earlier to prevent last-minute delays?
For us, maybe we should have brought in this process much earlier, but I, as the Minister of Provincial Council, could not have had 3 elections under one system and the rest under another. So, within the limited time, I did what was just by the country, and I'm sure that we should have brought in this process much earlier. There was a lapse on our part, but nothing would justify me having 3 provincial councils under the PR system and the rest under the mixed system. So, in the interest of the public and for the sake of democracy, I did what I thought was just by the country.
Well, thank you for being so brutally honest.
Thank you, Faraz. I'm always honest, Faraz. I don't think as a politician one has to lie, because the truth always prevails.
It'll be yes, indeed, the truth always prevails. And we have got the Attorney General's Department who described the Bondgate, as the greatest financial scam to afflict the people of Sri Lanka since independence. Now that's a powerful statement. Chew on that. Faiza Mustafa, wonderful having you on here. Thank you very much. We'll see you in a few minutes. We'll hear you on the radio on Talk of the Town.
Thank you, Faraz.
Thank you. And that's it from Newsline. Take care and God bless.